What's up guys, Alex the Goated here, and today we're going to be talking about my Spider-Man 2 story predictions, so let's get right into it. Okay, so one of my predictions for the game is that Norman Osborn will become the Green Goblin. Now the main reason for this of course is because Norman has already appeared in both Spider-Man PS4 and Spider-Man Miles Morales. But he never actually became the Green Goblin in either of those games, which leads me to believe that Spider-Man 2 will be the Goblin's debut. And this leads to two questions. The first being how Norman will become the Green Goblin, and the second being what his role will play in the game. And I think I have a pretty solid theory that answers both of those questions. I believe that Norman Osborn hired Kraven the Hunter to get rid of anybody that could stand in the Green Goblin's way of becoming the most powerful criminal in New York. If you look at the screen that one of Kraven's goons showed him, you're able to see images of Prowler, Black Cat, Tombstone, and Wraith, one image of Peter with the symbiote on, and another image of him with the symbiote off. And you can see an image of Taskmaster in the bottom right corner, who's actually a character from the first game, in case you didn't remember. Each and every person displayed on that tablet is some sort of powerful figure who is capable of standing in the Goblin's way. And after experiencing multiple pieces of Spider-Man media that include Norman Osborn, I think it's safe to say that it's a Norman Osborn move to take out all of your opponents before actually revealing yourself as a criminal. So now that we know how he becomes the Green Goblin, or at least how he plans to, it's time to talk about what will happen with him in the actual story. I think that after Miles and Peter defeat Kraven, Norman will become upset and decide to take matters into his own hands. And it might be a possibility that he'll appear right after the Kraven the Hunter boss fight near the end of the story, making himself the final boss of the game, where you guys work together in order to defeat Norman. A lot of people within the Spider-Man fanbase are debating who's going to be Venom, Peter or Harry, as Insomniac themselves said that there will be no Eddie Brock in the game. Although it can only be Peter or Harry because of these two scenes.
We're gonna heal the world.
We're going to heal the world.
As you can see, both Harry and Venom said we are going to heal the world, meaning that it could only be Peter or Harry because of the fact that they're the only two who were there when Harry used that phrase. It's pretty hard to tell who this actually is, as it's a shot from the back and you can't really see their face. Although I do believe it was Peter, as you can see the color of his hair is slightly darker than Harry's. Although it doesn't really prove that Peter will be Venom, as it could just be Venom talking to Peter as he has a symbiote suit on, not necessarily becoming the actual Venom as seen in this clip. So how can we tell who actually is Venom? I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think it's gonna be Peter. I'm sorry, I just don't. In this official image, you can literally see Peter and Miles fighting Venom together. So who really is Venom? We know it isn't Peter, and I don't really think it's Harry either, because in this one clip from the post-credit scene of Spider-Man PS4, you can literally see that the symbiote isn't actually bonding to Harry. Sure, it's on his body, but it's not actually covering him fully like it would with Peter. So who could be Venom? Well, I think there's only one obvious answer at this point. It's Kraven. I think that after Peter removes the symbiote, it'll attach itself to Kraven. This might line up with my Green Goblin theory from earlier, where Kraven with the Venom on will try to kill Peter and Miles, like in this image. And after Peter and Miles win, that's when the Green Goblin will reveal himself. So yeah, Kraven is Venom.
Lee's still out there. You don't know what you took from me.
That's right, Martin Lee is back in the game. Honestly, there are so many different villains in this game, and I'm just surprised that no one's complaining like they did with Spider-Man 3. Although I guess it's different, especially if Kraven is Venom, which kind of like takes one villain out of the list technically. That and the fact that the game is 17 hours compared to Spider-Man 3's 2.5 hours or however long it was. Honestly, it's really interesting that they're bringing this character out of all the villains from the first game back. Although I guess it kind of makes sense since he was like the second biggest villain of the game, but not really the main antagonist or the final boss. So his role wasn't that big to the point where it would feel weird that they're bringing him back in a sequel like it would with Doc Ock. Anyway, I guess it's time to predict what role Martin Lee will play in the plot. Looking at these two scenes, it's a pretty safe guess to say that Mr. Lee will be more important in Miles' arc and not Peter's. Besides the fact that there are already two scenes about Miles talking about Mr. Lee, Peter and Mr. Lee have already had a lot of interactions in the first game, so it wouldn't really make sense to have them both have an arc together again. So we can assume that the plot will have Miles getting over the death of his father that Mr. Lee caused, and maybe having to forgive him, similar to how Peter forgave Sandman at the end of Spider-Man 3 after he killed Uncle Ben. Or who knows, maybe Miles will kill Mr. Lee and then realize the mistake that he's made and that killing Mr. Negative wasn't going to bring his father back. Okay, I think that does it for my Spider-Man 2 theory video, but if we get 100 likes or more, I will make a part 2. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you have an amazing day. I'll see you on the next one.